friends. Welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Ventures, and we have a book haul, a very big one. And it's not the end of September. It is going, hopefully, just to be two parts. I'm really hoping just two parts, but there is a possibility this could be three parts. And I'm not judging myself anymore. I'm unhauling a bunch of more books. I'm just going to let go of my judgment towards myself and talk about some releases. So, we have some releases. I would like to talk about one I finished recently, which inspired me to pick up the entire series again and buy the copies I did not own that I read from the library. How Far I'll Go by Kalia Kendall. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. Gave it a 5 stars. I'll talk more about that in the review, but I thought I'd read the description. After a devastating battle with Taka, I'm gonna say the lava goddess, Rana's worst fears are realized. The heart of Te Fiti is in ruins. Maui is frozen in volcanic rock, and darkness threatens to envelope her beloved home. To make matters worse, seems Moana has not left the fight unscathed. A curse is making its way up her arm, threatening to overtake her. Desperate to fix things, Moana stumbles upon an island already crumbling under the blight. All life is gone, save one sole survivor, a young woman named Noel. Moana is relieved to find another wayfinder, even if the stranger is more than a little intimidating. Better still, Noel has an idea how to fix the heart by using Te gems, tears of Te gems infused with the goddess's essence. The catch: the tears are to be scattered throughout the realm of monsters. Banding together, Moana and Noel set the course for an impossible mission: to find the powerful lost tears. Will Moana be able to restore the heart amid secrets and monsters, or will the blight overtake everything she holds dear? Like I said, 5 stars. And I did meet the author. If you did not watch the vlog, if you only watch my book hauls, the book is personalized to me, and it was cool to learn a little bit about how the Twisted Tale series interviews their authors and gets them to join their team. I'm just going to go with the Twisted Tales. So we have another one I have not read. What Once Was Mine? What if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? So I did haul, like I said, the ones I've read before. I will show you them, but I'm not going to read the description because I'm going to be rereading them in some future vlogs. Desperate to save the life of the queen and her unborn child, the good citizens of the kingdom combed the land for an all-healing sundrop flower to cure her. But some mistakenly picks the blossom of the moondrop. Instead, the shimmering flower heals the queen, and she delivers a healthy baby with hair as silver and shining as the moon. But along with her mysterious hair comes dangerous magical powers. The power to hurt, not heal. For the safety of the kingdom, Rapunzel is locked away in a tower and put under the care of the powerful good wife, Mother Gothel. For 19 years, Rapunzel stays imprisoned in her tower, knowing she must protect everyone from her magical hair. When she finally decides to leave the only home she'd ever known, to see the floating lights that appear on her birthday, she gets caught up with an unexpected adventure with two thieves, a would-be outlaw named Gina and Flynn Rider, a rogue on the run. Before she can reach her happy ending, Rapunzel learns there is far more to her story, her magical hair, and her future she's ever known. Then we got one that I have put off for so many years, but we have Go the Distance by Jen Kalita, and it's really small, and I'm actually wanting to read this really soon. What if Meg had to become a great god? After Hercules proves he's a true hero and regains his godhood, all seems right in the world. That is until Zeus tells Megara that she cannot be with Hercules because she's, well, mortal. Luckily, Hera has a solution. offering Meg a chance to prove herself worthy of a spot on Olympus as a god. All Meg has to do is complete a mysterious quest. The quest? Oh, just to rescue her ex-boyfriend's wife from the underworld. The ex-boyfriend she saved by selling her soul to Hades. The ex-boyfriend who immediately moved on to someone else while Meg was stuck in the underworld. Can Meg put her past behind her and use her quick wit to defeat the monsters and gods alike, including the nefarious Hades? Will she finally be able to figure out where she belongs and what she has to offer, or will her fear of commitment have her running away from the eternity of a godhood with with Herc? I'm so excited for this. And we have the one I'm gonna be starting soon on birthday. What if Wonderland was in peril and Alice was very late? I'm about to drop this book. Alice is different from other 18-year-old ladies in Victorian Kexford, which is perfectly fine with her. She'd rather spend her golden afternoons taking pictures with her trusty camera, chatting with her outrageous Aunt Vivian, or visiting children in the square than receiving visitors or doing embroidery. Thank you very much. She's also interested in learning more about the young lawyer she just met. Let me put some of these over here. I have two more that I haven't read, and then I'll show you the ones I got as well. What if Sally found Christmas Town? Sally's Living. A Twisted Tale by Mari. I'm not going to say the last name. I already know I'm going to butcher that. What if Sally discovered Christmas Town? Sally loves her creepy hometown of Halloween Town. But lately she can't help wanting something more. In a place full of all things frightening, one would think living in the shadows wouldn't be so isolating. Stuck in the lab of her creator, Dr. Finkelstein, Sally's restless feeling like she knows nothing more than a glorified servant. She knows she can do more, but Frankenstein just won't listen. When Sally sneaks into the graveyard, finds that Jack the Pumpkin is having his own doubts about life now. Determined to find a solution for both of them both, Sally follows a new vision that will be the key to changing their fates. Soon Sally uncovers a strange new land where everything is red and green and the ground is covered in ice. And the citizens are downright jolly. This could be the change she and Jack has been longing for. But the more time Sally spends there, the more suspicious she grows that the Christmas Town cheer isn't as genuine as it first seemed. What does it truly mean to put on the naughty list? What is lurking behind those dancing sugar plums? And will Sally be able to save the best of both towns before it is too late? So excited! So those are the ones I haven't read of besides Moana. Let me show you what I've hauled that I'm going to do a reread of soon. So we have the start, the Twisted Tale series. A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. We have Once Upon a Dream by Liz Braswell. we have Part of Your World by Liz Roswell. That's about fall. And we have Mirror Mirror by Jen. Not saying the last name. So those are some of the ones I have not owned. Before I've read, I have Reflection coming as well, which I'm hoping to include in the next book haul. So that is all for the Twisted Tale. Let me just move them out of our way. Let me get more comfortable. Alright, I'm going to read. Hopefully this doesn't spoil anything, but we have By Your Thorns, Ruby Dixon. It is the second book in a Royal Artifact Guild novel, which I am planning to read very, very soon. Gwen has always considered herself a normal person, a former servant. She wants nothing more to land a job with the Royal Artificial Guild so she can make some steady coins to send home to her mother. She's not special. She's certainly not a necromancer. That would be impossible given how necromancy or any mancing is forbidden under the penalty of death. So if the dead keep talking to her, well, she's gonna have to keep ignoring them. They're not gonna stand in her way of her dreams. Also not standing in her way, one big, arrogant, far too flirty attorney named Raptor. They slept together once and now he wants more. But she doesn't have time for that. Her focus is being a fledgling, a trainee to the Royal Artifact Guild, but Raptor won't go away. He's on a secret mission to the Guild of finding artifact thieves. Problem is, he thinks the thief is Gwenna. How can she convince Raptor that he's got it wrong, the wrong girl, when all the signs point to her? And how do you tell a attorney you can't date him because you hear he's dead? Hear dead people, and that ability might cost you his life. I just read the first in the series last month, and I loved it, and I'm so excited to get my hands on this one. That was also a new release. I have some more new releases. We have Brave Flowers, Marry the Prince, Then Kill Him by Autumn Cruz. Princess Princess Madeline and her twin sister Ines were born attached at the hand and separated right after. That's the only one time the sisters ever held hands. Their girls' personalities have been shaped in the Signet family's drive to make the kingdom more than what it is. Unsuspecting and loathsome exam plays, where deceit wields the palace walls the community. Matilda is different from her family. She's considered the weak one, and only finds peace in the gardens hidden to her magical flowers, which are projectively called grave flowers because they are ideally for torture and torment. Secretly, she dreams of escape and a new life. Then Inessa was betrothed to the heir of a wealthy kingdom, Prince Eric, gets trapped in a bid, a terrifying purgatory, and begs Matilda to set her free. Now, not only must Matilda take her sister's place as the heir's bride, but she also must finish Ines' secret mission. Ines just been sent to marry Prince Eric, to kill him to solidify a profitable pact with his traitorous uncle. On behalf of her family, Matilda will need to resist the infuriating clever prince, as well as her own heart, if she's to free her sister and finish the job. I'm so excited. Rebecca Ross, Wild Reverence. It's a big one. Dear Matilda, I let the words flow from her, and when the ink dried, I gave my heart to the fire. Born in firelight domain, nothing underwhelmed. Matilda is the youngest goddess of the clan, blessed with humble messenger magic. She uses to carry words and letters through the realms, but the gods will kill for power. A Matilda holds a secret she must hide, even from her allies. And there is a mortal who dreams of her, though they have never met in the waking world. 10 years ago, Vincent Beckett wrote to Matilda on the darkest night of his life, begging the goddess he befriended in dreams to help him. His request was not answered, and Vincent became hardened. Elrond, the lord of the river, who's long forgotten Matilda until she comes tumbling into his bedroom window with a letter for him. Matilda and Vincent were fated to find each other beyond dreams. But to rewrite the blood-soaked ways of the gods, Matilda will have to face something she fears even more than losing her magic, finally allowing herself to be loved. So excited for that one. Now, there's some more, but this one is so perfect for the season. Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. Maribel Owens grew up with the legends of wolves that traveled to her Midwestern town to protect humans from vampires, of a werewolf that fell in love with one of the undead, unraveling a blood-soaked history. But Mira stopped believing in those fairy tales. Years ago, she stopped believing in a lot of things after her mom left without a trace when she was only 13. As Mira begins her freshman year at Lakeland University, she's ready to leave the past behind her. Only the past isn't finished with her yet. Strange animal attacks are occurring around campus, reopening the cold case tied to her mother's disappearance. The only person who seems to know anything is Julian Santos, the boy who is hell-bent on getting Mira to leave campus for the reason she can't begin to understand. But Mira refuses to let him keep secrets, not when the truth is the difference between life and death. Mira will have to accept there is much more to the old town miss and her growing feelings for Julian than she could have ever anticipated. And as the blood moon rises, she will come to know a world that will shatter the past and change her future. This sounds so good. This is signed to me with a dedication by the author. Me and my twin were in Barnes & Noble, and I saw her, and I've never even seen this book, and I thought, why not? It sounded so good, and I got to talk to her a little bit. I wish I got to talk to her more and ask questions about the book. That is okay. She's a local author, and I love her. I will just follow it. She said, to Amanda, all hail the blood-stained queen. She signed Alex Kate, but her name's Alexandra Keatington? So, blood beneath the snow. Fate is thicker than blood. Ravina is no stranger to struggle. As the only member of the royal family without magical ability, she is seen by the kingdom as an embarrassing mistake and a blight on her children. Luckily, Ravina has found family in the other outcasts, but when her two closest friends' lives are put to danger, she's determined to save them by any means necessary, no matter the cost. The bloodshed trials, a competition where the last royal sibling standing takes the crown, might just demand the ultimate prize. Ravina rejects plans for an arranged marriage and commits to competing for the throne, only to be kidnapped by the mysterious and terrifying powerful Hellbringer, the general of her country's greatest enemy. He has the ability to render souls with the flick of his wrist, and every inch intimidating as the war stories say he is. But Ravina wonders if there's some humanity left in him, especially when he reveals there are other parties who want her on the kingdom's throne for their own secret reasons. This sounds so good, and I'm hoping it becomes a series. And it's a romantasy, and it sounds really fun. This book calls to my childhood. I was able to get Howl's Moving Castle, a special edition off Amazon. I'm hoping they do the entire series. I won't read what it's about right now. I'm planning a reread, but if you've watched the Studio Ghibli film, you know what it's about. And it's so pretty, like sprayed edges. The end pages with Sophie. I've been buying So happy I finally picked up a copy. I waited for a special edition. I was hoping to get a book box eventually of all of them, special edition. And this popped up on Amazon. It was actually really affordable compared to some of these other said books beside me. But I'm planning to reread very soon, and I hope I can read Sophie and Hal and Housekeeper and the rest of the cast. And it's an amazing story, and I want to watch the Studio Ghibli film as well. You know what? I think I did make a mistake because I did show you all the other books I got, but this is a new Twisted Tale I have not read. When You Wish Upon a Star by Elizabeth Lynn. I said that wrong. What if the blue fairy wasn't supposed to help Pinocchio? Starlight, starbright, first star I see tonight, so begins the wish that changes everything for Geppetto, the blue fairy, and a little puppet named Pinocchio. Blue fairy isn't even supposed to grant wishes in the village of Previa, but something about this one awakens something long flickering within. Perhaps it's the hope she senses beneath the old man's loneliness. Or maybe it's the fact that long before she was the blue fairy, she was a young woman named Shara with a simple wish to help others find happiness. Her sister Ilaria always teased her for this, for Ilaria had big dreams to leave their sleepy village and become a world-renowned opera singer, while Ilaria had given anything to have a fairy grant her wish. Shara didn't believe in the lore for which their village was famous for. 40 years later, Shara is now the blue fairy, defying the rules of magic to help an old friend. But she discovers by the Scarlet Fairy, only Ilaria, who amid decades-long grudge, holds the transgression against her sister. They decided to settle things through a good old-fashioned bet, with Pinocchio and Geppetto's fate hanging in the balance. Will the sisters find a way back to one another, or is this, like many matters of the heart, a gamble? Comes with strings. So the Barnes & Noble edition is blue, but I got a really good deal on this one, so I'm not mad that I got this. It's kind of cool to know she has a sister. This one. We have Thorn Season by Kira Haza. Look at the sprayed edges. This, honestly, I might pick up in the spring because it just sounds really good. An heiress possessing illegal magic who has more to lose than distant secrets. A harsh, glittering royal court where the threat of discovery around every corner, too beguiling and very dangerous men who might be her salvation or her ruin. It's rose season at the palace, but survival will pretend becoming the most vicious of favorites. I know it's a duology. This is what the back of the book says. You want to dare, he said? So here it is. Call for your king. Have them put me in chains and step closer to the town to help me. If you're such a viper in discourse, spectre, grazing like fingertips down my out, and go ahead and strike it. I kind of want to read it really more now, but I feel like it would just be, with these sprayed edges, perfect when like maybe in February or early March when we're getting into the spring season. I have Love a Witch by Tracy O'Malley. Sprayed edges have been getting so amazing. This one I might read in October. It wasn't on my TBR because that's already filmed. She's hexed, he's vexed, and for Scotland's most magical small town, their feud might be spelled disaster. Sloane MacGregor swore she'd never return to Briarhaven, but with her 25th birthday looming, the day which she is coming to their magic, her grandmother summons her back for one tiny task: break the centuries-old curse haunting their bloodline. Knox Douglas, Briarhaven's grumpy mayor, has worked tirelessly to make his town a haven for magical folk. The last thing he needs is a cursed McFlagger wrecking havoc. It doesn't matter he wants crushed on her. For the sake of Briarhaven, Sloane has to go, but magic has other plans, and in Briarhaven, love really is a witch. It delivered today, that's why I decided to do part 1 of this book haul. We have From Here to Eternity by A.L. Jackson. The single dad, found family, small town romance with spice so hot it'll make your toes curl. Should have known everything was going to change when she walked into my tattoo shop. Timid as hell and gorgeous to extreme, women like her are out of bounds for a reason. My life is dangerous, my calling is wicked. I'm willing to cross any line to protect the innocent. I thought I'd never see her again until my little boy took a tumble and I found her working at the doctor's office. The woman had taken possession of my every thought. When it becomes clear she's in trouble, I offer a deal. 20 questions to earn a trust. Too bad trusting me is the last thing she should do. One kiss on the ditches, one night we're falling into a passion greater than either of us has ever known. The voices in my head warn I can never keep her. She can't know the life I lead. Now she's keeping a secret too. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep her safe. Even if it means losing everything. I got some of these books while I was out of town. I couldn't resist this one. And I don't know if it's like spooky, like has mystical powers, and I don't really want to go into it. Or is it like, I don't know. This could be a perfect fall read on top of the other books, because I film my TBRs anyway. But I might have to sneak some of these on, and I'm not going to swap anything out. I do want to read as much as I can for the fall. It sounds so good. This one I'm a little bit sad about, but I'm not sad that I have it, more that I didn't read it in time because it's an arc and it got published today on September 16th. So we have The Dead of Summer. Don't move, don't leave, don't breathe. I just had a hectic work schedule and I just didn't have time for it, which makes me sad, but I'm really excited to read it. Ollie Veltman is finally coming home. Oh, it says 2 days before. Ollie Veltman is finally coming home to the quaint island of Angeles and Mercy after a year away while his mom battled cancer. It should be a celebration. His mom is cancer-free and she's determined to have the best summer ever. But Ollie's now ex-best friend think he's abandoned him. He's returned with a lot of questions. Because for a place that's perfect on the surface, a secret rots below the waves. A secret that could explain his mom's illness and the illness of many of the locals. Ollie's desperate search for the truth turns to life or death when the storm descends upon the island, and in his time to wait, a long sunken horror arises. 3 weeks after, Ollie is being held in isolation aboard a military hospital ship in the harbor. They say he's a survivor, but they only know half the story. The truth is more monstrous than Ollie can ever believe. He suspects his survivors aren't here, his saviors aren't here to save anyone. Only Ollie can stop what's coming, but that means getting back to the Angel's Mercy before it vanishes, taking with it everyone he's ever loved. See, and that's why I picked the arc in the store, the book bungalow down in St. George, because it sounded so good. And it's already out. I'm sad I didn't get to read it early, but I'm excited to have it and hopefully pick it up soon. I'm gonna grab the first book, but I'm gonna show you the other books in the series, and then I'm not counting how many books I have here. I'm not judging myself. I had a good month. I had a stressful month because before my vacation, I worked 8 days straight. After my vacation, I worked 8 days straight. I went a little bit crazy, but I also had a bunch of pre-orders that came out. So my mic died. And usually you don't hear the turtle's tank in the corner or the fan. I did not know it died, so I was horrified thinking, oh no, it did not pick up the audio because when it's died previously, it hasn't picked up any audio. So luckily, I watched it back and it had all me talking about these books had the audio. But like I said, I worked very hard and I had a bunch of pre-orders. And I think I spoke about this in a couple vlogs. The fall months, these pre-orders were like they kept just getting pushed back for me. At least majority of the ones here got pushed back, but even the ones that I pre-ordered, they were supposed to have different dates. I just looked on Amazon and the other places I've ordered books. I have 8 books coming out on Tuesday of next week, and then I have so many books coming out on the 30th. And there was another one I was going to pre-order because I'm bad at checking dates. So I didn't pre-order it. I screenshotted it, and then if it comes in to a Walmart or if I see it at Barnes and Noble or when I get my first check in October, I'll buy it. But even October is very heavy releases. I think December is where it slows down, and I've only pre-ordered a couple, and I pre-ordered some for February, March, and April. The majority I tried Kindle, but I did get some physical copies. I will slow down, but like I said, I did a very big unhaul, and I still have a lot more books to get rid of that I if they had Kindle copies, I will slowly start purchasing them again, but I didn't need to hold on to the physical copies. I wanted to make room for these new books. So let's talk about the last 4 I got, but I can only read one because I'm assuming it is a series. So we have Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne, A Pirate's Life for Tea, Book 2, Tea You at the Altar, Book 3, Academy, Alchemy and a Cup of Tea, Book 4. And they were on sale, so that's how I justified doing it, even though I have all these books. And I have 2 more coming tomorrow, but I got one used because I couldn't get the manga copy on Kindle, so I'm just gonna buy the series. So it says it's a cozy fantasy steeped with love. And I keep going like this because the light's there and we're in the dark. Run away with me, the mage had said, her eyes alight. You like tea, I like books. Let's open a shop somewhere remote and forget the world exists. All Raina and Keith wanted is to open a bookstore that serves tea while the firelight drifts between the rafters. But Raina's work as one of the Queen's private guards and Keith's the most powerful mage in existence, leaving their lives isn't so easy. But after an assassin takes Raina hostage, she decides she's thoroughly done risking her life for self-centered queen. Meanwhile, Kenneth has been waiting for a chance to flee responsibility all the better than her girlfriend is on board. Together they settle in the a Tawny, a town nestled in icy tundra near Dragon Country, and open the shop of their dreams. When what follows is a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen throwing the realm's biggest temper tantrum, while these 2 women discover just what they mean to each other and the world. And they're sprayed edges, and I got 2 of the books for $8, and they're originally $20. And I think the most I spent for one was 13. They were on sale from Amazon, and I couldn't pass it up because I wanted to own them. And I was just gonna buy them on Kindle, but I couldn't resist. And they're sapphic and they're cozy, and it's bookstore. And tell me why I couldn't resist. They're so good. Now there's like over 20 plus books here, and with the books that are coming for part 2, I'm hoping by splitting this book haul up that I'm okay. I still might find some more books to get rid of. I mean, I have a whole tote that I haven't, like any book that I've read that I it's more than 3 stars, why DNF'd has gone into that tote, and I have to get the ones that I put in the box to take to the places. I might fill another box to make more room, but overall, I'm happy with all these books I purchased. And I will see you with whatever video comes next. If you've read any of these books, let me know. If you loved any of these sprayed edges, let me know which one was your favorite down below. I'll see you next time. Bye!